This is Will County's News Talk Sports 1340 WJOL. It's time for the Money Talk radio show today. Raising Money Smart Kids. Money Smart Kids. Oh, I like that idea. We're going to be talking about things you can do to help kids become a little bit more, educated, if you will, on what to do with money when you have money. We'll be introducing our guest host coming up here in just a couple of moments. I want to remind you at the end of the program, this is important, we've got a $25 Visa gift card that we're going to be giving away compliments of NuMark Credit Union. How do you win? It's simple. You just listen to the conversation I'm going to have with our expert today, and at some point, I will pluck a question from our conversation. I will ask you that question at the end of the program. If you are the first correct caller on the Turk Furniture studio line at 815-254-7300, you win the $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. Now through April 30th, you could be eligible to get 0.50 API off your qualifying auto loan rate on new or pre-driven vehicles. That's a good deal, with rates starting as low as 4.49 APR. Love your car, but not the payment? If your loan is not with NuMark, they can help you lower your monthly payment when you refi with them. Be sure to take advantage of this limited time offer. APR equals annual percentage yield. Some restrictions apply. Visit newmarkcu.org for details. That's newmarkcu.org for details. James Murphy is a branch manager for NuMark Credit Union, and he joins us this morning on the Turk Furniture studio line. Good morning, James.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing fine and dandy. Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate it. If you don't mind, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Where are you from originally, and how long have you been with NuMark as branch manager?
Well, I've been grew up and raised in Rockdale, which is a small little town basically in the middle of Joliet. I've been in the Joliet area.
That's right.
Almost my entire life.
Yeah, know it very well. Drive through it quite frequently, and I actually like running the hills of Rockdale. Did you live on one of those hills?
No, luckily I was on a flatter part at the top of one of those hills. We actually used to, back when I was playing basketball in my younger years, we would actually do drills up and down some of those steeper hills to kind of train the legs.
That's right. Yep, still there. And Rockdale's an awesome little place. And at the very top, of course, we used to run over and go over to West Park there in Joliet. So, yeah, so you're a homie. We like that. We like that a lot. All right, so let's get into the topic du jour today, and it's raising money smart kids. So April is Credit Union Youth Month, and I think this is a good idea, Jim. April,
yes.
Credit Union Youth Month. Why do you guys do that?
Well, it's just basically to introduce the kids about, financial matters and just to try and start their learning as early as possible on the matter of savings.
That's a good idea. It is important to start teaching kids about money at a young age because the habits they learn now could last a lifetime, good, bad, or indifferent.
Exactly, and it's with almost any skill, it's repetition. So the more chances you get to show them examples of what saving does for you, the more likely it's going to stick with them as they grow up.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jim, let's talk about parents right now and how they can introduce the idea of saving in a way kids can actually understand. What are some of those ways?
I think, one of the better motivators is probably the toy or electronics section. As you walk down those aisles, the kids are really close to, wanting to reach out and grab whatever it is they want. Mm-hmm. And just gifts and toys and electronics these days aren't exactly the most cost-effective things. So maybe you just let them know, hey, we can't afford that right now, but, let's work out something where we give, $5 or $10 a week. Let's save up a little bit, and we can come back and we can get that, that Lego set, that new game, that whatever it is that they were reaching for.
Yeah. But Jim, what if they cry? What if they go, nah, and they start screaming and throwing a fit? What do you do then?
I'm
careful.
I'm from an older school where if a scene was caused, it was just the end of the shopping trip. It's just, you can't have it. If you're going to put up a fit, then, we're going home. It is the epitome of, if you don't knock it off, we are turning this car around.
I like that. I was hoping you were going to say that. See, your mom and dad, when you did that, probably said, we're going to go home and run some hills in Rockdale.
Maybe not to that extent, but it would definitely be housework afterwards.
Yeah. And it's important also to explain the difference, because there are needs and there are wants. How'd you go about that?
Exactly. You could offset it. You want this toy, but you also, you want this maybe particular food item. You want snacks or something like that. You can live without a toy, but you can't really live without food or water or all that fun stuff. So just explaining that to a kid, maybe, before 10 years old, they may not understand the difference, but at least letting them know what's the difference between a need and a want.
Yeah. It's a good idea. We're talking today with James Murphy. He's a branch manager for NuMark Credit Union. This is the Money Talk Radio Show, brought to you by the NuMark Credit Union. Don't forget, find out about how you can save a whole 0.5% off your qualifying auto loan rate on new or pre-driven vehicles. Visit NuMarkCU.org for details. That's NuMarkCU.org for details. Talking today about raising money-smart kids. Let's talk allowance now. Do we give kids an allowance?
I would say yes. I know saving is really hard to do, but I think giving the kids responsibility and rewarding it with an allowance should be encouraged when you can. Just to show how much power there is in savings, I would suggest something along the lines, if the parents have the time or the ability, of maybe opening an account in their kid's name and maybe putting like half of their allowance in the savings account. So if you're giving your child, $20 a week, $20 a month, however it is, and so if it is $20 a week, maybe put $10 on top of that $20 into that savings. And then at the end of the year, you get to show the kid that they have $260 in that savings account, plus any interest that's accrued during that year. And just, you might have to show them the long-term results for savings before they kind of understand what comes from savings.
Yeah. I mean, showing somebody on a piece of paper $260 may not mean a lot to the little kids, but as they get older, they're going to realize that adds up, man. I mean, then next year we got 520. I mean, it just keeps going up and up and up.
Yes. And you can even ask them if they want to, participate in it. Let them know, hey, I've been putting, half your allowance. Do you want to put any of the allowance that I'm giving you into this to kind of build it, faster?
Yeah, absolutely. So this takes us to the day and time of where we're at right now. We're in a digital world. A lot of people don't even have cash. They don't. How can parents teach their kids about money when so much of it is invisible?
I think a lot of it comes with hand-in-hand just discussions about it. I know a lot of games nowadays, there's immediate gratification, getting this new thing for this game, this playable skin, or however you want to call it. But setting like limits on what can be spent electronically, that I think that encourages more of a discussion between a child and their parent. If they go to buy this thing online and they're not able to because there's a limit set, and the parent can come in and say, well, you were allowed this much to spend, you've already gone over it, and this is what happens when you go and do that kind of thing. So I think setting limits will let them understand just exactly how much they're spending invisibly with digital resources.
Yeah, and parents, you could always, too, in addition to that, you could always get cash, give them cash or change or something along those lines. I got a quick anecdote. We had a big Hinckley Schmidt, one of those 5-gallon, I think it's 5-gallon or whatever it is, jugs of water, put on the water. We took that in, and happy to say I got over $800 in that thing. That was nice.
Ooh. Yes, that is nice. That is nice. Very nice. I just recently did the same thing with like a half full Oberweis water jug or milk bottle, and I got just under $100 from it.
Yeah. So maybe that was something you could do too. But while change is still around, before it goes away forever and ever and ever.
Before it disappears.
Jim, what's one practical activity parents can do this month? April is Credit Union Youth Month. Get the kids involved with the credit union so they know what it's all about. What's something a parent can do this month to help build financial awareness?
Well, I think just along the lines, getting away from, video games, toys, and that kind of thing, I think food might be a good way to show this. So a parent can ask their child to, pick out their favorite drive-through restaurant. Every kid loves that. Right. And then maybe pick out their favorite homemade meal. It's easy for a family of 5 to spend more than $50 in the drive-through nowadays. But you show them the receipt between, that drive-through and then how much it costs to make that favorite homemade dish, and let them know, over time, this is going to save you, $20 for one meal, but that $20, if you use that, $20 a day, every day, it's just going to keep building and building and multiply.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because we want our kids to have cool stuff, and I don't mean that, in terms of, cool jeans or cool shoes, but we want to have cool experiences. We want to have fun with them. And sometimes going out is just easier. You know what I mean? But it does add up, man. It adds up a lot.
Yes, it does. And quick.
Yeah, it certainly does. And you're right. $50 fast food is not far off at all. It might even be a little light. All right. Parents encouraging smart spending without making kids feel restricted. You still want to give them a little freedom, especially when they get a little older. Maybe they've got a job putting some of the money away, but they still need to understand that, you just can't go out and blow it, because if they do that now, they're going to do it when they start running their own household.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to smart spending and just showing them, I think giving them options would be one of the best things you could do. So say if they are someone who's very interested in fashion, the newest clothes, the newest whatever, you can find similar items in, different thrift stores. And thrift stores are actually coming up and around a lot more. So they could find something of similar look, style, anything like that. Even showing them how to renovate their own clothes at home. A good sewing machine and everything like that. They could show how they could do this themselves at home at a much lower cost than even the thrift store would be.
Nice. Very, very good. All right. And let's specifically talk about credit unions, because April is Credit Union Youth Month at NuMark. What role can NuMark play in helping families teach financial literacy?
Well, we actually participate in numerous events throughout the year where we kind of do a dual educating. So a parent may be participating in something that teaches them financial wellness, how to save up for a new house, how to cut down on their bills, and the parents will be in that main seminar, and the kids will actually have like a real world budget type event where you kind of show them what kind of cars do they want, where do they want to live, and just kind of teach them how that budget works and what you would need to do to either what you'd have to give up to get that nice shiny car, or how much they can get in return for maybe saving and getting that car when it's more financially possible than just getting it right away,
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jim, you've been with the credit union now for a while. What do you, when you talk to people and they ask you what the difference is between a bank and a credit union, how do you react to that? How do you respond?
Well, one of the biggest things, the differences between a bank and a credit union, is that a credit union is community owned. So when someone opens up a savings account, we require a $5 deposit for that savings, but that $5 deposit is actually a share in the credit union itself. So if they wanted to, they can be involved with any decision that's coming up for a credit union, whether it be a rate change, a location change, anything like that. If it comes up to our board of directors, who are usually account holders themselves, the credit union doesn't worry about making money as a bottom line for their shareholders, their stakeholders, the board of directors. We look at more what's financially responsible for the people who are in the community who have their accounts with us.
Right. That makes good sense. Makes good sense a lot. You believe in it, right?
Yes, I do. Very much so.
Yeah, it's everyone I talk to believes in it. They're like, yeah, absolutely. This is the way banking should be done. Jim Murphy, NuMark Credit Union branch manager. Thanks for your time today. Good to talk to a Rockdale native. Have you been to Rock City yet? And you tried their big beef roll?
Oh, yeah. I've been there before. I can't say I've had that in particular, but yeah, I've been there before and enjoyed the pool table, sitting down and relaxing there. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Next time you're in there, either the pizza or the beef roll. The beef roll is legendary, so enjoy.
That's what I've heard. I see that every time. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, take care of yourself. All right, there it is. Raising Money Smart Kids here on Money Talk, brought to you by NuMark Credit Union. All right, we've got ourselves a chance for you to win a $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. I'm going to ask a question, and you're going to have to give me the answer. All right? Wait for 1 second. Now through the end of this month, April 30th, you could be eligible to get 0.50% APR off your qualifying auto loan rate on new or pre-driven vehicles, with rates starting as low as 4.49 APR. Love your car, but not the payment. If your loan is not with NuMark, they could help you lower your monthly payment when you refi with them. Be sure to take advantage of this limited time offer. APR equals annual percentage yield. Some restrictions apply. Visit NuMarkCU.org for details. That's NuMarkCU.org, NuMarkCU.org for details. All right, here's the question. April is what at NuMark Credit Union? I said it purposely 4 times. April is what at NuMark Credit Union? 815-254-7300. I got $25 to give you from NuMark if you are the first correct caller that knows that answer. April is Credit Union blank month at NuMark Credit Union. Let's see if we can get ourselves a winner. Hi, good morning. You're on WJOL. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Scott. It's Rita.
Rita, what's going on, girl?
Not much.
All right. Do you know the answer?
I do. April is National Youth Financial Literacy Month.
Close enough. Yes, you got the word youth. That was the word I was looking for. It's Credit Union Youth Month. Bam, Rita, you got it. You got $25 gift card. How about that?
That sounds great.
All right, what you need to do is you need to go to the NuMark 6 Corners in Crest Hill anytime today afternoon or any day after, and they will have a gift card waiting for you right there.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rita. Have a great day. That's Rita. She's a winner. That's how you win. You listen, you learn, and then you can cash in on the prize. Congratulations, and thanks for listening to another edition of the Money Talk Radio Show from NuMark Credit Union. Again, check out those auto loan rates by going to NuMarkCU.org. That's NuMarkCU.org.